Hello, folks. Coming at you on a Wednesday, the 9th of February. Cheers. It's good today. Let's just try to have as good days as possible. That's kind of where what I'm feeling overall. It's a big, beautiful, and crazy world. If you don't turn your television on or anything like that, you don't ever have to encounter the mad news of the world. However, I say that it's psychically and in the atmosphere, whether you see the news or the events or not. The air is charged with the energy of the times. So I just want to encourage people to be as loving and as kind to oneself and others as possible. Okay, I just want to do that. Thank you for the wonderful feedback on the installation. Charlie Friedman's soundtracks for the present future. The piece that you heard is called Hope. Now that's one of my pieces that I did not write for the installation. They did commission me, and I wrote two pieces for Charlie, and those get played. But this one seems to be the one that he likes the most, and I like it really well too. I was checking on my Bandcamp page to see if I had released the original version, and I have not yet. And last year I was talking about releasing a CD of the soundtrack's performance here in Omaha. I haven't gotten around to it yet. But here's a little bit of the Omaha version, the guitars playing it. Just to refresh you. And now here's my original version that I wrote on the keyboard. This one goes back 2016 is when I wrote this. Nice. So what I had to do is to convert or transfer or convert this music into pure MIDI files to be played by the controller the keyboard controller that operated the guitars in the installation. And that was really an interesting learning experience because, when you convert it, it converts everything, the percussion and everything, and it's like you have to rearrange things for the instruments that are going to be played. So if you're up in New York in that area, Syracuse, go to that museum, Everson Museum, and check out it's there till April, I believe. Okay. How are y'all doing otherwise with the news and stuff? I do bring that up a lot because, like I said, it's part of my nature to be connected to what's happening in the world. It seems like it's a patchwork of things trying to open up and go back to normal. Is that your experience? It appears to be happening in fits and starts here in Omaha. So let's just hope that the year gets better. The other thing about it is that I am now talking about taking up some gigs later in the year. I'll let you know more soon. I'm being careful about it, but yeah, I want to play. So, records, you want to see some records? Last thing I played last night was Young Gods. I think they're from Switzerland. Data Mirage Tangram. Their words are very impressionistic to me. It's like they don't mean anything. None of the words of their songs seem to have any meaning to me that I can discern. And yet there's this heaviness about the whole way they do the whole thing that I just love. I was getting into some old industrial stuff yesterday. Frontline Assembly, probably my favorite of those bands. Bill Lieb, Gashed, Census, and Crossfire. I like this whole album. That angsty kind of, I like that. I don't play it, but I like it. No Limit, another one of those. Listen to this all the way through. And then really, this is my favorite single by them, Iceolate. They actually got an MTV video made for this. This stomps. It's, it sounds like they were really pushing the equipment to get this down. It's not quite distorted, but you can just hear that they barely had control of the sound, but it's powerful. I love it. Frontline Assembly. Switching gears yesterday in the afternoon. Interesting day yesterday. Just the way it felt and some things that I thought and experienced inside. And so there was a point where this music really was just perfect. Tri Atma und Gyan Nishabda. Sehnsucht, Einklang. I understand that it's something like the Portuguese word saudade. Anyway, this is a beautiful, serene album. The entire album. It's just beautiful. It imparts an impression of clean blue skies, beautiful sun, nature, things being in balance. Wonderful, like cleansing the soul is what it's like to listen to this kind of music. This album, not this kind of music, this album. An Italian band, Hero. I think they're Italian. This is strange. It's considered prog, but it's more than that, and it's still. I haven't had this that long, and it's an older album. This is really unique. It's very good, but it's unique. It's hard to describe. That's all I can say. Yesterday I got into some magazine. You know the band magazine, Howard Devoto and those guys, John McGee, Barry Adamson. Secondhand Daylight is their second album. Between this and the next album, these are my favorites. But this album is power. And Howard Devoto's words on this are striking. Here's an example of someone who can use words very, very... what's the word? He just comes up with some very noticeable lines. And when he says them, it's like, boy, you really believe them, you know. The next album, Corrective Use of Soap. I played both of these. Philadelphia is the one on here that I like. Well, I like the whole album, but Philadelphia, maybe it's right to be nervous now. That's one of those lines. It's like, Howard, with your bad self. And the band is just blazing on here. The whole band. And John McGee, rest in peace, he was an incredible guitarist. On Philadelphia, at the end of it, it's like they keep the riff going until John basically orgasms on the guitar. And that's when it stops. And it's like, because when he does this one thing at the end, it's like, oh, shit. Oh, shit. How'd you get that out that guitar, man? I just love that about music. I was even playing this on the compact disc. Just loving it. So, right quick for you Omaha folks, Grapefruit Records in the Old Market has Future Still in stock. Get it while you can, okay? Go grab it while you can. Thank you. I put some records down there on commission, 4 albums, old stuff, and only 1 is left. They all sold. The one I knew, Dereck number 3 for $80, sold yesterday. Last time I was down there, I did pick up some more vinyl. I'll show a few things, not everything. Here's an album I've been wanting, and it's a collector's item. But this is not an original. This is a reissue. Might be a boot, I don't know. But Meic Stevens, Outlander. I think he's a Welsh guy. It's an interesting album. It's like, it could almost be a James Taylor type of album, but it's too intense, and it has this Eastern thing going on too. It's hard to describe this album. This is real cool and unusual. Outlander, Meic Stevens, it's intense. The Sailor and the Madonna. This is really good. Outlander. Been after a copy of that for years. Let's do one more. Picked up another This Heat. Made Available. This is a reissue, I think, of some John Peel sessions. These are really good. Came out in a couple different forms. I got this version. Plays great. Really quiet. Really good. I could go on and on and on. So I'll go on with one more. This is one that had been down at Grapefruit for a while, and I finally grabbed it because it was a little more costly, but it's something that I wanted. Anthony Moore, Secrets of the Blue Bag. He was in Slap Happy, and they did that album, Slap Happy, Henry Cowell. I still want Slap Happy on Virgin. It's a collector's item. This is Minimalism, and he is quite an artist. He's written some amazing pop music, and this is like in the wheelhouse of Steve Reich, Philip Glass, David Borden. It seems to be very minimal and modular. I think that's the right word. It's very repetitive, but it's one of those things where the repetition slowly unfolds, and then the next thing you know, you're in a whole nother place. It's the sort of thing that at first can be a little, I don't know about this. You have to surrender to it. I love that cover too. I also like the fact that they kind of mocked up the Polydor, because it originally was on Polydor. Polydor, to be such a ubiquitous label and such an old record label like RCA and Columbia, Polydor has put out some of the most interesting, daring music over the years. Very interesting collectible stuff. I mean, they're the ones that signed Faust. So, there you go. Yeah, I just want to always give a shout out to positivity and some kind of hopefulness for healing. That's what I'm about. Take care. Let me know how you're doing.